You know what I was thinking? Wait, before I start, this is another episode of Art and Our Entertainment. But I was just thinking, um, what writers have inspired me? What writers have inspired me through my life that I put at the very top of people that are really great with their penmanship that have inspired me, whether it be a book or what I'm saying. I know they wrote something that I watched. Um, or just yeah. I'd probably say first and foremost my mom. You know what I'm saying? She's the one that used to write, and I used to see her write stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it got me going. I was like, man, I got a vivid imagination. You know what I'm saying? So let me write something. So that actually would help. That actually helped me. You know what I'm saying? Education wise. So that was fantastic. You know what I'm saying? I put her up there. She is like above the list. You know what I'm saying? But I put her in that list anyway. I put her in that list anyway. Just inspirational figures. I hope I'm saying his name right. It might be blasphemous. Uh, J.R.R. Tolkien. J.R.R. Or is it? Hold on. J.R.R. Yeah, J.R.R. Tolkien. Did I say that right the first time? I don't know. Whatever. He's great. You know what I'm saying? Historical. Historical writer. Lord of the Rings. Enough said. Honestly, I haven't read those books. I haven't read Lord of the Rings. But I love the story. I love the story, but I've always seen it played out on different mediums. I know that's been around, that title has been around for generations. But I actually got introduced to his stuff like I seen that movie. I seen the trailer for the Lord of the Rings, and when I was a kid and seeing that, I was like, man, this is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be like something I never seen before. Something that what I'm saying, you could just only dream of. Like, wow, all these elements. If you like that type of stuff, you're like, wow, all these elements are on the screen. Instantly, Lord of the Rings, the trailer, when I first seen it as a kid, it clicked because my imagination was all over the place, and that seemed like it was such a massive. Long story short, I was drawn into what I was seeing on the screen because, let's be honest, Lord of the Rings, before that came out, nothing had ever looked like that, you know. So initially, I was just like, wow, and you know, I like fantasy stories. I usually watched them more as a kid than read them, for sure. Um, I wasn't a real big fantasy fiction reader per se. Like I wasn't reading a whole bunch of books on. I had a couple. I had a couple that were my favorites. More so in like the form of graphic novels. You know what I'm saying? But I read books though when I was obviously I read books when I was younger. But yeah, I read a lot of stuff that actually happened. I was actually really big on more autobiographies and just like real life events, like I am now. I'm trying to get more into reading fantasy fiction. You know what I'm saying? Because I write in the genre, so it's nice to, what I mean. But I like to study history and kind of weave it into you know, my stories because I think it adds a more realistic layer. But yeah. But anyways, oh yeah, I had to laugh there. But when I first originally got Lord of the Rings, we rented it from Blockbuster. I'm showing my age. We rented it from Blockbuster, and it was fantastic, man. Like I said before, or maybe I didn't say before, it is one of those. It's one of those fiction literary works that is just timeless. It's timeless. I'm pretty sure that you can just it's such an incredible story by such a legendary writer, J.R.R. Tolkien. Um, definitely he's on that 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 rarefied air of writers that inspired me like completely. Um, that they stay in my thoughts on certain things. You know what I'm saying? Artistically, you know what I'm saying. I always like listening to what they have to say for sure, or what they have said, I should say, in his case, because he's not been around for so long. Obviously, but it's his, the voice and and the soul that he gave Lord of the Rings. You know, it's even after all these generations after his passing, like people are still like enthralled by it. And yeah, that's how I knew about it. You know, I just seen the trailer; it looked incredible, and you know, like I said, we got it from Blockbuster. I must have watched that movie so many times, man. It was ridiculous, man. Well, maybe not so many times. I probably thought it was so many times, but because it's so long. You know what I'm saying? So I probably didn't watch it as many times as I think, but I remember watching that movie just, man, you know, because it's 24 hours in a day. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I wasn't just like watching around the clock, but dude, as someone who didn't know about the story before, like, you know, before it came to the movies, you would have thought I was a vivid fan that had read all the literature because I was just like so impressed by that first outing in Lord of the Rings. And yeah, man, I just remember watching it all. I would replay it right after I just watched it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's enough said right there as far as like how I watched it. I was just enthralled by it, man. And it left a lasting impression for me to just make something incredible myself. And I was like, man, you can make people make stories like this on it, like so big with all this scale, like with all these characters. Man, I ain't never seen nothing done like that before. You know, and it was done. It's, you know, shout out to Peter Jackson. You know, his vision was incredible. You know what I'm saying? You know, his vision and putting it on the screen makes me want to read the stories. But I haven't read this. The only story that I've read of J.R.R. Tolkien is um, The Hobbit. And I love The Hobbit. I just didn't like the movies. I like the first one, but I didn't like how they, you know what I'm saying, they stretched that. They got book. They got one book of The Hobbit. I said they got one book. They got one book of um, The Hobbit, and they stretched it into 3 movies. Now, I don't know how they did that. I wish they did. I wish they didn't do that. I wish it was just, you know, I was honestly hoping that they made it just a 2-part movie, man. You know what I'm saying? I wish they made it a 2-part movie. I think that's when it started with me as far as like liking. You know, I'm going on a tangent, but I think that's where it started with just liking more quality over quantity. You know, as far as entertainment was concerned, you know what I'm saying? That makes me also think about how Infinity War and Endgame was just a 2-parter. Like I always go back to that thought. Like I think that's pretty good. Sometimes when you have, you know, less is more sometimes. But it's a big movie, makes a lot of money. It makes sense to stretch it. I know the business optics of it, but man, I really didn't think they needed to stretch that in 3 movies. But J.R.R. is Tolkien is fantastic. You know what I'm saying? Legendary. And then also, I was wondering if I was thinking if I was gonna make this like 5 people that inspired me. I don't know. I got my third one though, so I got 3, and the third is none other than Nas, man. My favorite rapper. I'm biased, so you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna say that he's better than whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know. You know, just incredible, man. You know, listen to all his stuff throughout the years, and you know, getting older while I'm listening to his stuff, like still listen to his stuff as I get older. For about, you know, going on almost, you know, four decades, you know, listening to his stuff, man. So legendary, man. And you know, a lot of people that are say like into have their favorite authors now. You know, they'll say this guy is my favorite. You know what I'm saying? It's my greatest, and I look forward to his next book. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about Nas when he drop a new album. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, yo, like I'm gonna get this. I'm just gonna get it off the strength, like, cause this is Nas. You know, fantastic, great writer. Um, trying to think about a fourth one. You know what I'm saying? Just to who would be a fourth one, man? I mean, one that just like was there from like day one. That just Tupac. I gotta put Tupac in there. Tupac was a fantastic writer. You know what I'm saying? He's a poet. He's credible, incredible. You know what I'm saying? I honestly actually have Nas and Pac sharing that top space. You know what I'm saying? As far as like artistically, being, I favored their styles. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was just like it was them two. You know, this ain't got nothing to do with, you know what I'm saying, hip hop or none of that. Not, to that extent. It's just like, writing. You know what I'm saying? I knew these people write. I knew these people wrote. So I was like, man, that's dope. Okay, so that's four. And what's the fifth one? What's the fifth one? Shit, hell, I inspire me, motherfucker. I'm inspired, you know what I'm saying? I'm inspired to write my shit every day because I like learning, you know what I'm saying? How about that? I'll put me up there. I like being in that group, you know what I'm saying? I am my mother's son. I love her, you know. I mean, but honestly, I think I should feel like that. I think anyone should feel like that who's trying to, you know, get their work out of there. Get their work out there. You gotta feel like you're doing something that it's new, it's exciting, it's fresh. It's a craft that you've worked hard at, relentlessly at. So you gotta feel, you gotta feel like the best. You gotta feel like the best. You know. That's all there is to it. Everyone I mentioned, I feel like has, been the best influence of what writing can be. You know what I'm saying? The power of what writing can be. So, yeah.